land the Colts. All right, so I'm back on the board. The teams, so they took DK Metcalf so after me it was Kalen Balaj, good decent running back potential. Harrison Butker, that's a little high for him. DK Metcalf, that's a good pick. Sean Hamilton, Jamison Crowder, terrible pick. Justin Tucker, good pick. Marquise Brown, pretty good pick. Vikings D, Chargers D, Patriots D, Greg Olsen, and Colts D. So I was kind of interested in the Colts D. So there's some good receiving options. I like Adam Humphries. He's there for me right now. I'm going to look at some flex positions, though. And there's not really a lot that I like. I'm just kind of looking through this here. The one that I'm most concerned about is running back. So what I would want to do is get a running back that I think would give me potential. And how is Kareem Hunt not taken? So this is an interesting take, but I would, in my position, draft Kareem Hunt here because if anything were to happen to the Browns, he gives me value late in the season, and I have room to work. So now so I just took Kareem Hunt, and my plan for that would be to hold Kareem Hunt throughout the season, and just let myself be in a position where I can maybe potentially use him as trade bait. And if anything were to happen to the suspension where, let's say, it gets cut down or something, it gives me some flexibility. All right, so it came back around to me again, and the defenses that they're suggesting I take are the Broncos, Texans, Titans, Eagles, Browns, Ravens, and then it goes on down. So, well, it is a little... They still have the Cowboys, too. I mean, the Cowboys were a pretty good defense last year, so... and so I took Hunt, and then a bunch of kickers went off the board. Somebody took Adam Humphries, and then Trey Burton and Austin Hooper, just so you get the context of what's going on. So I've got to fill my defense. I've got 45 seconds. The Broncos, I really am not very high on the Broncos. The Texans, I think, are also kind of a letdown. There's so much potential with the Texans, but it's just... And then the Titans, I don't really like them very much. Browns, I don't know why they would be that high. Eagles' defense is dangerous. I think I do like the Eagles' defense because the Eagles have two rookie quarterbacks that they're going to probably be facing within their division. So that's 4 matchups there of potential turnovers. You got Jones and what is that guy's name? The other Redskins took. But I like the Eagles here, so I'm going to take them because I think that they have good value, and I only took them with the second to last pick. Eagles' defense was pretty talented 2 years ago. So it gives me a pretty good feel for what I want to do. Like the Eagles, if they're doing well, keep them. If not, you can cut them, and then you got some other good defenses out on the board for you. So this is why you save your defense and kicker until the end. Is because you get some good build-up of positions along the way. And so now I've just completed my draft. I'm going to kind of recap it real quick. I had the 7th pick, so it was snake draft, 10-team PPR mock. So I had the 7th pick, and then that followed up with the 13th pick. So number 1, first round, DeAndre Hopkins. Second round, JuJu Smith-Schuster. Third round, Adam Thielen. Fourth round, Aaron Jones. So notice... I took 3 receivers, and they were all elite. So that gives me a lot of leverage in terms of how I want to fill I've already basically got the receiver positions locked down, so I can use the other receivers I could use as trade bait, essentially. Aaron Jones, 4th round. Phillip, Lindsay, 5th round. So I got 2 decent running backs to kind of fill those positions. O.J. Howard is somebody, I got him in the 6th round. He's a up-and-coming tight end. 7th round, Tarik Cohen. 8th round, Will Fuller. I took Darrell Henderson. That's kind of a flyer. Baker Mayfield. So Baker, I like where I got him. I got him 10th round. I think that's pretty solid value for him. You don't want to reach too high for Baker. I think if you can get him right around there, I think that's good value for you, especially now they got OBJ. Then I took Christian Kirk, Royce Freeman. I took Mecole Hardman, who's a potential Tyreek Hill fill-in on the Chiefs. So there's a lot of big potential there. I took Greg Zuerlein as my kicker. And then I then as kind of an interesting trade piece, I pulled Kareem Hunt. So whenever Kareem Hunt becomes healthy, that could be a very beneficial pick for me. And then the last pick I took Eagles. So the general theme that you notice is that, as you remember what I said, you stock up. So two things to keep in mind that I mentioned in the first video. You stock up on wide receivers and running backs. And then the other thing is you take potential over modest gains. And, I pretty much filled my whole roster with receivers and running backs. I'm just looking at it, I got 6 of each. So this gives you, if anything were to happen injury-wise or matchup-wise, it gives you a lot of options. And I've got guys that are potential guys, too. I've got Mecole Hardman. He could potentially fill Tyreek Hill's void. And then Darrell Henderson could potentially fill Todd Gurley's void. So, this is the kind of, this is the draft strategy that I would follow personally, because I think it sets you up for success as things develop over the season. Because the natural nature of the way things work in fantasy football is that you're not everything is going to go as planned, and you're not going to get the things that you want necessarily. You're going to get injuries. People aren't going to be as productive as you think they would be. So you want to get yourself in the position to really make sure that you have a lot of available skill players. Maybe you can pull off a trade in some fashion or another. And in terms of defense and kicker, I'm honestly shocked I got Greg Zuerlein where I did, because he's most talented kicker in the league. He would have been the number 1 kicker last year. He wasn't hurt for several games. And Eagles D, that's in the last round. That's solid. But if anything, if they don't do well, I'll just cut them. So, but yeah. So that's the mock draft. I hope that shows you a little bit of my strategy. I'll kind of, as time goes by, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a more thorough way of how I do the draft, and then also kind of go into more levels of, I did a 10-team league, let's do a 12-team and a 14, so that way you kind of see how things change. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think, and if you have any questions about why I did what I did. So, thank you. Talk to you later.